Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about digital minimalism and how to get off your phones and doing something more productive using this strategy that I've used myself and I found that it helps a lot. If you don't know who I am, I'm Keith. I just graduated from high school and I'm passionate about how we can live intentional, fulfilling, and productive lives. And while some of us might not like to admit it, social media is playing a bigger part in our lives and is slowly taking over our free time. Chances are that if you've clicked on this video, you realize that this is a problem in your own life and you want to do something to try and change that. I recently read this book called Digital Minimalism, which is about this technology philosophy, which I find very interesting and I've applied, which has helped me to decrease my dependency on social media. So the rest of this video will be dedicated to explaining the philosophy and how you can apply it to your own life. A question we should first tackle is, what is digital minimalism? And broadly, digital minimalism is a way of thinking where you consciously choose and optimize the technology you use to support things that you find valuable, while happily missing out on anything else. And to go a bit deeper, there are roughly 3 key points that make digital minimalism important. The first is that using too many apps outweighs the cost. If you're using YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, and I see how much education I'm getting from that, I find random videos on YouTube, I find random videos on TikTok, and I actually learn a lot from that. We can trick ourselves into thinking that we should keep all these social media apps because we're learning so much. In reality, what we should be asking ourselves is, how much time are we wasting for this particular educational nugget that we get? If I'm getting a lot of good news information from Twitter, how much time am I wasting scrolling through mindlessly? So in the end, having too many apps without any guidance on how to manage them can lead to chaos. So the second pillar is that it's not only about the number of apps you use, but how you use the apps. If I'm able to reduce the amount of social media apps I use to, say, 2, YouTube and TikTok, that doesn't solve the problem, because in reality, I could just shift the 2 hours I spend each day on social media onto those 2 apps. So in addition to cutting down the number of apps you use, you also need to have guardrails that manage your expectations and your time on the remaining social media apps you have. And the last key pillar is to adopt the mindset of digital minimalism. So after you've cut down the apps you use and you've put in guardrails, you should be proud of the steps that you've taken. That's because digital minimalism isn't a 30-day detox. It's a mindset that you adopt over time and you continue to evaluate as you move forward. Moving on, the digital declutter is a 30-day process designed to help minimize the amount of technologies you use and also help you maintain that technology usage after those 30 days have passed. So the first step is you want to sort out the technology into 2 buckets: optional technologies and necessary technologies. You write down everything that you know is optional. Instagram, for example, isn't really necessary and would be labeled as optional because you don't need to go online on Instagram to check out what your friends are doing or what they're posting. And also make sure to write down these optional technologies so you don't forget what you labeled as optional. Now, the second step is to give up those optional technologies for 30 days. Now, instead of just removing those optional technologies and being done with the process, you have to actively seek out activities to replace the time you would usually spend on technology. If I don't have anything to fill in that time, I'm most likely going to fall back into the social media trap. And throughout the 30 days, you want to experiment with the type of activities that you're doing in replace of the social media that you've removed. So even after the 30 days are over, hopefully you've developed or cultivated a skill or habit that you find can replace technology usage whenever you need to in the future. So the last and most important step is reintroducing technology back into your life. After the 30 days, you shouldn't immediately bring all the technologies back into your life. Instead, carefully think about the optional technologies that you've had and whether you really need them or not. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you like digital minimalism and the digital declutter, and I hope you'll introduce this into your own life if you found it inspirational. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing and liking down below.